Many older men often overlook one of the most important aspects of social interaction with younger women, understanding the subtle signals they give when showing interest. What might appear as a casual question or simple curiosity is often a carefully chosen way to test connection, gauge compatibility, and even spark attraction. Women rarely announce their interest directly, especially at first. Instead, they use questions as a gentle, low pressure method to see if the man responds with attentiveness, humor, and emotional intelligence. A simple inquiry about your weekend plans, hobbies, or favorite activities is rarely just small talk. It is a window into how you think, how you engage with others, and whether you are approachable. Many men dismiss these moments as trivial or routine, missing the opportunity to respond in ways that build connection and spark interest. Recognizing the intent behind these questions is not about being manipulative or overly analytical. It is about being present, attentive, and aware of social cues that signal curiosity and engagement. Older men, accustomed to more direct or traditional forms of communication, often misread these subtle signs, thinking the conversation is casual when it is actually loaded with meaning. This gap in perception is why so many men find themselves confused about why interactions with younger women do not progress beyond surface level conversation. The key is learning to pause, observe, and interpret not only what is asked, but how it is asked, paying attention to tone, timing, and accompanying body language. A friendly smile, lingering eye contact, or playful teasing can completely change the meaning of a question, turning what seems innocent into a clear invitation for connection. By understanding these dynamics, older men can respond more naturally, with confidence and clarity, without overthinking or misreading the situation. They begin to see that these questions are less about the answers themselves and more about how they engage, respond, and build rapport. It is not about impressing with knowledge or charm alone, but about showing genuine interest and attentiveness. These skills create an environment where younger women feel understood and comfortable, opening the door for meaningful conversation and connection. At the same time, older men must balance awareness with authenticity. It is not enough to simply recognize the signs if the response comes off as forced, awkward, or superficial. Women intuitively detect sincerity and confidence, and they respond positively to men who are comfortable in themselves while showing curiosity about them. When a question is asked, it is not only an opportunity to share a fact about yourself, but also a chance to demonstrate emotional intelligence, humor, and the ability to connect on a deeper level. Observing, listening actively, and responding thoughtfully signals maturity and attentiveness, which are universally appealing qualities. Men who ignore these subtleties often lose opportunities, not because they lack value or experience, but because they fail to interpret the social language being communicated. This is why many older men remain unaware of the true meaning behind these simple questions and miss out on moments that could lead to stronger connection and mutual interest. Developing the ability to recognize, respond, and engage with these subtle cues is a skill that can transform interactions, making conversations more engaging, dynamic, and rewarding. Over time, older men who refine this awareness naturally navigate social interactions with younger women more effectively, fostering rapport, trust, and authentic attraction. It becomes less about guessing intentions and more about recognizing and responding to cues with confidence, warmth, and clarity. The reality is that learning to read these signals is not about complexity. It is about observation, attentiveness, and genuine curiosity. A casual question is never truly casual. It is an opportunity, a test, and a doorway into a more meaningful connection. Older men who begin to notice these subtle forms of communication quickly discover that women are rarely ambiguous without reason. Every inquiry, every playful comment, and every repeated question carries meaning waiting to be understood. By developing sensitivity to these cues and responding with authenticity, men can transform ordinary conversations into engaging interactions that resonate, build trust, and create memorable experiences. Recognizing that curiosity often equates to interest allows older men to step into social situations with greater awareness and confidence. They no longer rely on outdated assumptions or miss opportunities because they failed to notice subtleties. Instead, They become attentive, present, and capable of responding in ways that naturally foster connection, respect, and intrigue. This understanding is not just a social skill, it is a mindset that opens doors to richer, more engaging relationships, where every question has the potential to spark something meaningful and memorable. A common mistake older men make is overanalyzing or dismissing seemingly harmless questions from younger women. Many of these questions appear innocent, like asking about your favorite activities, routines, or opinions, but they often carry underlying intent. Women use these inquiries as subtle ways to gauge interest, compatibility, and the type of interaction a man brings to the table. Older men, accustomed to direct forms of communication from their peers or traditional social settings, often underestimate this approach. They might assume the question is casual conversation or mere politeness, and as a result, respond with minimal effort or disengagement. This reaction can unintentionally signal disinterest, even when genuine attraction exists. Recognizing the difference between casual curiosity and meaningful inquiry is essential. Questions are not random. They are tools to explore connection, personality, and emotional depth. Responding thoughtfully, rather than mechanically, communicates attentiveness and openness. Paying attention to nuances such as tone, context, and timing helps interpret the question's real purpose. For example, a question asked with playful energy, lingering eye contact, or repeated attention may indicate a higher level of interest. Older men who overlook these subtleties often fail to appreciate the complexity of modern social cues and miss opportunities to connect on a deeper level. Understanding that questions carry emotional and social weight allows men to respond with confidence, clarity, and authenticity. It is not about manipulation or overanalyzing every detail. It is about being present and aware of the dynamics at play in the conversation. Timing and delivery also play a critical role in interpreting these questions accurately. The same inquiry, depending on context, can be casual or a deliberate test of compatibility. For instance, asking about weekend plans in a passing conversation is very different from the same question asked with lingering attention, a smile, or a playful follow-up. Older men often focus too much on the content rather than observing the delivery and surrounding social cues. Recognizing subtle signs such as laughter, tone shifts, or repeated engagement can help decode the true meaning behind the question. Active listening becomes crucial, as women are often assessing not only what is said, but how the man responds. Thoughtful answers, reciprocating curiosity, or gentle humor signal emotional intelligence and attentiveness, which are highly valued traits. Older men who respond in this way not only communicate interest, but also foster a sense of comfort and trust. Misreading these signs can lead to missed connections, as the woman may interpret indifference, confusion, or disinterest where none exists. Over time, men who learn to interpret both the questions and the social context gain the ability to engage meaningfully, creating rapport and connection that feels natural and effortless. Understanding the deeper intent behind questions also requires observation over time rather than relying on single interactions. A one-off question may not always indicate interest, but repeated engagement, follow-up inquiries, or playful curiosity signals genuine attention. Older men often overlook these patterns, focusing instead on isolated moments rather than the bigger picture. By observing trends in conversation, tone, and body language, they can accurately discern whether a woman is testing compatibility or simply engaging in casual dialogue. This awareness allows men to respond appropriately without overthinking and maintain authenticity. Recognizing the subtleties of these interactions enhances confidence, emotional intelligence, and the ability to connect meaningfully. It transforms everyday conversations into opportunities for genuine engagement and mutual understanding, creating a dynamic where interest, attentiveness, and compatibility naturally emerge. Timing and context are everything when interpreting questions from younger women. The same question can have completely different meanings depending on how, when, and where it is asked. Older men often focus solely on the content of a question, missing the signals embedded in delivery, body language, and tone. For instance, Asking about favorite hobbies or weekend plans might seem like casual conversation, but when paired with a lingering glance, a smile, or playful teasing, it can indicate curiosity, interest, or comfort. Understanding these nuances is essential for recognizing when a woman is testing compatibility or subtly expressing attraction. Many older men have grown accustomed to direct forms of communication where intentions are spelled out clearly. Modern social dynamics are far more nuanced, and women often use indirect approaches to feel safe, observe reactions, and gauge emotional intelligence. Missing these signals can result in confusion, misinterpretation, and lost opportunities. Observing patterns in delivery, tone, and body language provides crucial insight into what is really being communicated. A single question may be ambiguous, but context makes it meaningful. Paying attention to whether a question is asked casually or with engagement, whether it is repeated or followed by related inquiries, and whether it includes playful or curious undertones allows men to differentiate between surface level dialogue and genuine interest. The key is presence, attentiveness, and sensitivity to subtle cues rather than overanalyzing or second guessing every interaction.